first question, how does borer damage affect the biology and the systems of trees?
It's sort of pretty variable. Depends on the insect that's causing the damage, and then the species of the tree. Sometimes the mechanical damage itself will elicit a response in the tree to boost its production of toxins or whatever, or it may devote more energy into making protective tissue, like more bark tissue or things like that.
Okay. Okay. About how long has the infestation been a major concern, would you say?
It varies by season. You can usually sort of predict when insect damage is going to be above normal levels by looking at other stressing factors, like, for example, we've had 2 years of drought in a row. So that's going to stress the trees and make them more susceptible to infestation with insects. So it's not so much that, it follows a trend. You just kind of say, here's the factors and we might expect this as a result.
Okay. And once infected, how long does it take for a tree to fully succumb to both the borer damage and any secondary damage or infection that might have resulted?
That also is variable. It depends on the how big the infestation actually is.
Okay.
What the population of insects is inside the tree. For example, a heavy infestation may kill, within a year or even less. Other infestations may take, 2, 3, or even 4 years.
Okay.
So, there's always going to be borers at a subcritical level. Even in a healthy tree, you might crack it open, or if you cut it down, you might find grubs inside of it. It's just not sufficient enough to really affect, the tree in the long term.
Okay. And once a borer has begun infesting trees, is there any way to kind of stop or reverse that process?
Sure. There are some systemic pesticides you can apply. Some of them, it's like a soil drench that is taken up by the roots, and then it gets into the vascular system of the plant and can kill the pests inside while the tree still has a chance.
Okay.
And then once the pests are gone, then the tree can recover, can add more healthy tissue and things like that.
All right. And one final question for you. Do you think that this infestation has a chance of ruining the national parks in northwest Arkansas?
It's a tough call. I mean, we saw a similar scenario maybe 10 years ago with the red oak borer, and you had a lot of talking heads saying, "Oh, the sky's falling, sky's falling. It's going to change the entire dynamics of the forest. We're going to take our oaks and hickories away, or oaks away, and they'll be replaced by these super generalists like your gums and maples and things like that." And we just didn't see that.
Okay.
So on the one hand, yes, we saw a lot of red oak trees die, and the acorn crop, was low as a result. But the ecology of the forest didn't really change like people thought it might. Your academic ecologists sort of knew that. A lot of other amateur ecologists didn't know the kind of nuts and bolts of how ecology actually works. What we did see is a decline in turkey populations. So the diet of things like bears and deer and things like that we thought would decline are varied enough that they can find other food sources. But things like your gray squirrels and turkeys, whose diet is a larger percentage of acorns, they really took a hit. And kind of back to the original question you asked, pest cycles are always kind of boom and bust. So a major infestation is never really going to sustain itself for very long. usually it spikes and it's like people freak out, but then within a year or two it's going to peak, and it's literally like a blip on a long-term
Okay.
study. So
All right. Well, I think that's all I have at the moment.
I got